to the very first Daily Digest video. I'm Ross Merriam, and I'm playing a sweet-looking Sultai control deck here in Modern. We've won the die roll, so that is great. Opening hand is unkeepable, not great. Mulligan, click Mulligan. And this is a fine 6, actually. We've got stuff to do early. I think I'll suspend an Ancestral on turn 1, and then Inquisition on turn 2, and hope to go from there. But I will certainly keep this. Opponent is also mulligan to 6, so that's nice of him. Oh, and there's an untapped land for turn 2. Definitely going to keep that. Hope to get to 6 mana for this Torrential Gearhulk. Now I can suspend Ancestral, then next turn suspend Inquisition, or suspend second Ancestral and Inquisition. Our opponent put on the bottom, so let's suspend this and hope we don't get killed on turn 1. Tron, ugh, dirty, dirty Tron players. Okay, well, didn't have a turn 1 map or star or anything, so that's good. Okay, that's 3 power plants. Okay, whew. Was a little worried there that my opponent just had natural Tron. They do have 2 pieces, so that's really tough. Our hand is not really well set up for this matchup, nor is our deck. So we'll take what I can take. Opponent has 2 power plants, a tower, and 2 Karns. And I'll pay 2 life and suspend and hope my opponent bricks for a little while. They don't have colored mana, so any Sylvan Scryings or Ancient Stirrings they draw will be bad. At least for now. It's going to be really tough to apply enough pressure in this matchup. Hopefully these Ancestrals come off and find us something good. Our opponent is also playing Eldrazi Tron. Sort of the new flavor of the deck is going to be able to play its mid-range gameplay a lot more effectively. Yeah, Walking Ballista. It's a fine draw for him. Perfectly okay seeing the 1/1, especially because we have plenty of removal for it. Let's see what the setting F3 for stopping passing. Let me take my turn, buddy. Just want to take my counters off. And Mana Leak would be good. Cryptic's not bad. Need another land for it, but hopefully we can find that before my opponent finds last Tron piece. Okay. We've dodged twice. That's good. Now we have plenty of good draws. Any untapped land, any Mana Leak, any Thoughtseize is good. Oh yeah, I always yield to these things. Tasigur is not a very good draw, but maybe it'll be good eventually. Now we're entering Thought-Knot-Seer range. A waste instead of another power plant. So I know 3 of my opponent's 4 cards. And it looks like my opponent's just drawing lands. We'll probably see a counter get added to the Walking Ballista. And one of these Ancestrals is, yeah, coming off next turn. Perfect. So we should almost assuredly have Cryptic up this turn. We have survived. Now we get to play Magic. I will cast it targeting myself. Thank you. Ugh. No. No. Still don't have Cryptic up. Drew 2 ETB tapped lands. So a Mana Leak here would be nice. Liliana. Liliana's not so good. Snapcaster is kind of interesting. We have 2 Torrential Gearhulks, and I'm not snapping Serum Visions. I'd rather just cast one. So I don't think I want the Snapcaster. We'll bottom that. Do I want this Serum Visions? Next turn I'm probably just I guess I can play Serum Visions and Tasigur. So yeah, might as well top this. Um, Play a Tar Pit, sure, and pass the turn. Now we're gonna have to dodge another draw step or two. Well, that is a map, yep. But does not have enough mana to play Karn. The issue here being this Walking Ballista is going to get really big. He's going to be able to put another counter on it here, bring me to 12. And the next turn he has another power plant in hand. He can play that, cast Karn, and still have 5 mana up, put another counter on it, attack me to 8, and then I'm facing lethal at that point. So perhaps keeping the Serum Visions on top was bad. Yeah, I'm just not going to have time to cast it. I guess I can Ancestral into an untapped land here. Although, if I actually would really like a fetch land, because then I can Tasigur with Cryptic up. And then, oh, I get to cast this. And then if I have I'm going to need to get another untapped land after that. Oh, yes. Oh, that was perfect. Now I can play Swamp, Fatal Push this, hold up Cryptic, next turn hold up Torrential Gearhulk, and then I'm in business. Yeah, that was great. We found 2 lands and a Fatal Push in those 4 draws. All 3 other than this stupid Serum Visions I left on top. I'll just play the Swamp, I guess. I'm not sure if there's going to be a difference, but I will certainly Fatal Push that. And likely take 3 here. Still at a healthy 9. And I have to discard. What am I going to discard? Is Liliana the worst one? I might get like Ulamogd. Maybe Tasigur is the worst one. I have these Gearhulks to pressure my opponent, or maybe Lumbering Falls. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'll get rid of the Lumbering Falls. Maybe I should have just gotten rid of Serum Visions. I don't know. So again, my opponent casts Karn. They still have 5 mana. They can cast a Reality Smasher. Which would be quite good. I'm not sure how I would beat that. Well, we're certainly countering that. Thoughtseize is a good draw. This looks like another Ballista. Okay. Now I still have to leave up Gearhulk, I think, for Cryptic. I could try to Thoughtseize, Snap Push, play Tasker, and hope my opponent's last card and the top card of their deck is not a significant threat. Alternatively, I could Thoughtseize. I can't Thoughtseize, Snap Thoughtseize, plus Liliana's Ballista. So that's not a good route. I don't really want it to tap out to deal with his hand and then just die to this Ballista with my opponent having 12 mana. Yeah, that's just a lethal Ballista. Puts 3 counters on it, attacks for 5, and 5s me. So that Ballista is a significant threat. I can... But if I... Say I just pass with Gearhulk and my opponent attacks, if I just take 2, go to 7, and then I'd have to fetch Misty, go to 6, to Gear Hulk, and push. My opponent doesn't do anything. I mean, they just get to put 3 counters on and bring me to 1. Is that reasonable? Then I would just be dead to any Ballista, and I would not have another counterspell to go with it. This is tough. I have a feeling my opponent's just going to try to play Karn, though. And I'm okay being dead to a 3rd Ballista. And that's only if my opponent sniffs everything out. Yeah, they're just attacking. Okay. Well, I will take it. What do you got for me? Yeah, I think they're going to cast the Karn this turn. That would certainly be what I'm hoping for. Perfect. Crack this fetch. Get an island. Play Torrential Gear Hulk. Still not out of the woods yet. So my opponent's going to get this thing on 3, and my Thoughtseize will probably bring me to 1. We're definitely targeting Cryptic Command. So I'm still going to be in range of another Ballista, and I have to play around Reality Smasher as well. Yes. A counter target spell and draw a card. Plays a map. I don't think that's going to do anything. Yeah, they're just getting another tower. Still have enough mana to put a counter on Ballista. Now, I don't have another counter spell for a big thing. Makes me want to Thoughtseize. My opponent now has 3, 6, 12, 15 mana, so and they're about to bring me to 3, so a Ballista is going to kill me. And I definitely want to attack with this Torrential Gear Hulk. I think that means I'm also going to play Tasigur, and I can Tasigur and then Snapcast, Fatal Push, and then play Liliana Plus and get their last card. So why don't I... if I do that, then my Snapcaster is going to die to this Ballista. Maybe what I should do is just Liliana minus. Yeah, I'm going to Liliana minus, let that Liliana die. And then start to get an attack in. So I can attack into 15 and then have 11 plus. I'm going to be 1 short. Sure. Oh, this doesn't deal with a card in his hand. I guess I'm going to have to Thoughtseize him. A lot of things to keep track of here. Yeah, I go to 4. I'm still going to Thoughtseize plus Tasigur, and then I'll hold up Snapcaster in case my opponent draws Reality Smasher. I'll take the All is Dust for sure. And let's get rid of Thoughtseize, Liliana, Fatal Push, Inquisition, Ancestral. They're all bad. Yeah, I probably should have gotten rid of the other Ancestral and left the Liliana. Oh, and there was the Thoughtseize. Yeah, just too many bad cards. And let's hope my opponent bricks twice. Seagate Wreckage, that is just a redraw. Interesting utility land for his Tron deck. Definitely putting in work here. Okay. What do I want to find to lock up this game? The other Cryptic Command. So why don't I Serum Visions? There's the other Cryptic Command. Let's bottom this Damnation, top that, and play Snapcaster, target Serum Visions. Okay, cast it. Let's bottom that. Will Fatal Push do anything? I don't think so. I guess if my opponent has... They would have played any spell they drew. They must have a land, which means they're not going to be able to... I guess they could empty their hand. They draw a spell, play a land, play that spell, like counter it. They draw the Seagate Wreckage, play another thing. So I might want this Fatal Push. What could that thing be? It would be a Ballista that kills me. Like, I can't kill a... I'm just going to bottom that. Oh, and anything I draw is just going to get shuffled away anyway. I will continue to play around Reality Smasher, I guess, because I have them dead next turn anyway. They get to play, if I counter a thing and they Matter Reshaper me, then they're at 10, they block the 5/6, and I have 6. I only have 9, so maybe I'm supposed to attack with Tasigur and just have to counter Reality Smasher. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. No, actually, no, I don't have to do that because I can play Tasigur, keep this one, Legend Roll this one, and then Torrential Gearhulk into Fatal Push to kill a thing. So I'll just attack for 5. Okay. I think we have this one locked up. Quad Power Plant. And opponent only has 1 card in hand. We have a Cryptic. I'll attack you for 11. And you're dead. Okay, got game 1 in a matchup that I cannot expect is very good. So that is nice to have in our back pocket. Definitely want Counterspell and Fulminator Mage. I think I want Natural State too. I guess the Eldrazi Tron versions are a little different. Definitely want this Ceremonious Rejection. The Eldrazi Tron decks don't have the green cards. And they don't have Oblivion Stone. So yeah, and if they don't have O-Stone, the Natural State can't be very good. Fatal Push is probably not very good. It only kills Walking Ballista. I guess with a fetch it kills Thought-Knot Seer too. Yeah, and Decay can't kill Thought-Knot Seer. So why don't we get rid of Decays? Maybe they'll have Chalices after board though. I kind of like Damnation because they're the Eldrazi version. Being able to kill 2 big Eldrazi at once is kind of nice. Maybe I don't want Counterspell. It only counters Karn. The Eldrazi deck is definitely very different. They probably still have Ugin and things. This feels like a matchup where they're going to go bigger. So I think I want Counter Squall. Definitely want Maelstrom Pulse. Definitely want discard spells and counter spells. And I need to keep in all of my pressure. I don't think you can ever board out any of those. And given what my game plan is, I think Ancestral is good as well. So I'm going to turn one Damnation, only leave myself with one of them. And maybe I'll turn one Fatal Push too. Yeah, let's try that. I'm relying a lot on Liliana at this point. And Liliana's not good against Matter Reshaper, but so maybe that's not a great path, but let's hope this works out. This is a very good hand. I will certainly keep this. Yeah, Expedition Map. Okay, our opponent's probably going to map on turn 2, and then we're going to have counter spells up. Or we can just Fulminator them. So I think what I'm going to do is fetch for basic island. No, because of Cryptic Command. So I want to get a second black source here, and I want a green source, and I want to ensure that I have Cryptic. Maybe that's getting too greedy. Against most Tron decks, my life total would not matter very much, and so I would be using it more aggressively. I can either get Island Overgrown Tomb and just hope I draw another blue source before another Cryptic. And I think that's probably best, because I don't even have a Cryptic yet in hand. So, okay, now my mana is perfect. I'm not even sure I want either of these lands. I think I'm going to bottom them both. Just want to find business. Yep, has the power plant. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Well, Darkslick Shores, you can go. If my opponent plays Karn here, I think I'm going to counter squall it, because my Mana Leak can hit other things. Whereas counter squall is a bit limited. And I'm about to, I think I'm going to Fulminator him this turn. Expedition Map found mine. So normally you just hit Tower because it's the best one. But because he tutored for mine, that's the one he's least likely to have multiple copies of. So I'm going to hit the mine. If my opponent would ever pass me the turn, thank you. Okay, there's a swamp, so no need to crack a fetch land. And I'll hit the mine. This also takes his one black bordered one out, so I get extra style points that way. Very, very important. This is where he just goes mine Karn. Tron players never tank this long when they have you dead. Ghost Quarter. Just has another map. Okay. Well, might get punished for holding this Mana Leak, but place a Ballista. That makes me think my opponent doesn't have something big to play next turn. I'm going to lead with an Inquisition. Okay, Matter Reshaper, Endbringer. They don't have enough to crack play Endbringer. It's weird that they would play the Ballista then. Still think I'm going to Thoughtseize the Endbringer. Yeah, and then I can leave up Mana Leak. I think I should leave up Mana Leak for either Thought. You can play Thought-Knot-Seer or Reality Smasher after finding the other Tron piece. So, and I can wait a turn to Visions. So let's, I don't know, play that. Let's play this one. And then Thoughtseize. Now we just need to deal with this Ballista, and we're in good shape. So I will pass the turn. Once again, could just lose to Ballista getting really big. Also want to make sure I keep basics in my deck now that I see my opponent has 2 Ghost Quarters. You just have black-bordered Mines and white-bordered others. You're playing Tron. You've already given up any pretext of dignity, but you should at least match your lands. Come on, it's the least that you can do. Some people. So I think I'm gonna find Breeding Pool with this Verdant Catacombs. Gives me a green source, gives me 3 blue, and then I'll leave this Delta uncracked. Chalice for 2. Okay, so my opponent does have Chalice. I'm gonna have to leave in some decays. Yeah, let's get Breeding Pool, and I'm certainly gonna Mana Leak this. Okay. So I know my opponent's hand is Ghost Quarter, their board is Ballista. I need to find some pressure. What do we got? Liliana is not bad. I think I'm just going to trade it for this Walking Ballista, to be honest. I don't think plussing and getting the Ghost Quarter, my opponent just brings it to 3, attacks Liliana, and kills it anyway. So, yeah, I'm just send it packing. And then we'll hope the Serum Visions finds us something good. I should have Visions first. If I drew like a Fatal Push, I might have tried to save the Liliana. This was bad. Yeah, Fatal Push in particular. Okay, drew a land. Ceremonious Rejection's not bad. I'll bottom that island though, and top this one. So now we have 1 draw step covered. I'm gonna have to hope for 1 brick here, because if we fall behind, okay, drew Eldrazi Temple. Ooh, it's gonna. Our opponent could have gotten cheeky and Ghost Quartered us to stop the scry. I was gonna do it upkeep. No, okay, just didn't see it. Definitely could have done that. Do I have to shuffle off this? This controller may. Yeah, I probably would have just not searched. I think the draw step is more valuable, even though that is my 6th land for Torrential Gearhulks. We're both on 6 lands, 1 card in hand. Yeah, card's about to trade. Ceremonious Rejection is great in this matchup. This deck continues to be more popular than Snapcaster decks. Should definitely have 1 or 2 rejections in their board. Can be good against Affinity too. Okay, we'll have some of his draw steps covered. Yeah, he's just saving these Ghost Quarters to hit creature lands or have extra mana for a Ballista. What was this draw step, sir? Or madam? Is there any card you'd be tanking on? I don't think so. I think it's just cast your spells as you draw them. Hope to draw enough of them. Might be thinking about what I have, if I have more Torrential Gearhulks. I'll keep my graveyard over here. Torrential Gearhulk and Snapcaster Mage and Tasker would all be excellent draws, so let's hope for one of those. Still tanking. This is an awkward spot to be in against a deck like Tron because they're drawing so live. That's why it's so important to have pressure in these matchups, and it's definitely this deck's chief failing as far as beating these kinds of decks. Chalice for 3. What does that shut off? Fulminator Mage? Okay. And Liliana? So it shuts off 3 of my cards. I think I'm going to let this resolve. He just wants to cast it for something that's not going to hit his stuff. Hits Matter Reshaper, I guess. Yeah, he was thinking about what. That's what he was thinking about. What number to put Chalice on. Yeah, that is definitely a card you would tank on. Okay. What else you have? He's drawn all spells. Well, that's just justice. That is great. Oh, big fan. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Now we're in business. Might just play this on end step if my opponent does nothing. Probably shouldn't. Should I? Man, I really want something like Thought Scour that you can just target with this. I think I should just hold it. Maybe that's wrong. I just got done talking about pressuring them. It's another awkward one. I can't. But it does mean I can land the Torrential Gearhulk safely next turn and still have 2 things covered. So now I'm going to land Gearhulk on end step and just hold up the Snapcaster. Expedition map. So they no longer have the great thing to find. I guess he could find. I want to play Gearhulk this turn anyway, so I think I'm just going to flashback Counterspell on this because he can find Seagate Wreckage, which would actually be quite good. This also decreases my clock by a turn, I guess. So let's counter Squall. Cast it, targeting that. So now down to 16. The Gearhulk will bring him to 1, and eventually we'll get a snap in. Or this other counter Squall. Oh man, I drew. You got me. I drew one of my good ones. Liliana wouldn't have even been a good card, so really this Fulminator was the only good draw. The Chalice turned bad. And draws a waste. Now now he's just locked. I get to Ceremonious Rejection as next draw step and deal out 12 over the next 2 turns. Opponent is complaining in chat, time-honored Magic Online tradition. But he's playing Tron, so I have no sympathy. None at all. Get him. And yes! Oh, that is great. Perfect. I almost want to slow roll him. Should I slow roll him? Because I don't think there's anything he can draw. I'm not going to be that mean to him. I'll just play the Snapcaster. I'll target Mana Leak. Well, we'll take the high road. Well, pretty easy win, surprisingly, against a matchup that I don't think is particularly good. Our opponent definitely flooded a bit, but that's sort of what Tron can do. I mean, he actually did draw a fair number of spells. He just happened to Chalice on 3 and then draws 3 mana spells, which is also a bit of a tilt, but I think he was definitely zeroed in on stopping Fulminator, but had he seen my deck list, he might have Chalice for 2 instead, and I would have counter-squalled, and then his draws of Sword of Fire and Ice into Matter Reshaper might have been quite good. But I think Torrential Gearhulk is definitely a pretty big card for the matchup, actually, now that I think about it. A big gain, gives you more access to counter spells, and gives you a big threat that can actually clock them. And against the Eldrazi version in particular, this 5/6 will match up well against their creatures in combat when you need it to. And if you can just sideboard things like Fulminator Mage and Ceremonious Rejection, which is also great, if it could show up in my sideboard. Sort by color. There we go. We'll bring it. And you can definitely turn the matchup around. But now I'm bad at operating Moto. Very bad. And that's not even all of it. Okay, sort by color again. Now move these here. We're doing it. I will get everything in the frame. Yes. Okay, well, I think that matchup actually did display just how much this deck does. And we didn't get to show off Damnation. Certainly not a matchup for it, but at least it can be. But the games did not play out such that Damnation would have been good. But we got to play our Disruption early, counter a few things early, and then turn the corner with Torrential Purehulk, which is definitely what this card is designed to do, and it did it very well. That is going to be it for me for the Daily Digest today. Be sure to comment if you like this deck and what other decks you want to see, because I definitely read. I read all those comments. I see them. I take them to account for what decks that I choose in the future. And that's it for now. And you can come back and see me on Wednesday. Bye.